Here's what's tricky tonight. The math is not tricky. The math is really, really easy. It is exactly what we've been doing. Yay. The setup on word problems is always the trick, right? So the only way to get good at it is to do enough where you become comfortable with it. So I'm not going to kick your ass and make you do a bunch tonight because I don't really believe in doing hard stuff by yourself. On Monday, we do an activity. It's got a little candy involved. And by the end of Monday, you're going to be like, hey, these are actually pretty easy because the more you do of them, the more comfortable you get. But we're going to take a quick hot minute on the back, if you turn your notes over, and we're going to remember how to use like words to math, right? And again, you saw this in algebra, you saw this in algebra 2 and algebra 2 trig, you've seen this a ton. But here's, again, I hate grading bad tests, and this is where I see kids blow it. Because we are tempted right here, James is twice as old as his cousin, is to do this. 2J equals C, right? Because it says James is twice as old. So what I need you guys to do as my pre-calc friends is to remind yourself of who is the big guy in this equation. So I got James, I got his cousin. Right now, turn to your neighbor and tell your neighbor who is the older person. Is it James or is it the cousin? Say it now. James. James is. So I am going to try to balance these two things. I'm making them equal. So if James is already the older guy, I'm not going to pile more numbers onto him. That'll make him older. So it's going to look like that. Does that make sense? So if it says James is 3 times, it's going to be James is 3 times as old as his cousin, right? Nice and easy. No one has trouble with that, right? But just remember, you got to keep things balanced. The next thing I want to remind you of, and it's not a big deal, is this. That is not what I wanted to remind you of. Let me get rid of that. There we go. I'm going to get to that one in a second. Let's do that one. Okay, here we go. Nice and easy. James is the older guy. I'm going to be equaling it to the cousin. I'm going to be doing stuff to the cousin. But I need you to be really careful. It's not that big of a deal here. James, a lot of you would be like, yay, 5 plus the cousin. I want you to get in the habit, whenever we add or subtract, to put it in the back. Now, in this case, it doesn't really matter. But when we do less than, it totally matters. It is wrong if you put less than like 5 minus C in the front. So I want you to get in the habit, if we're adding or subtracting, to add it to the back. Just get in that habit. So right now I'm going to have you give you a scary one, and I would like you to do this bad boy all by yourselves on your paper, on your table. I don't care. Write it somewhere. James is 5 less and twice as old as his cousin. James is the old guy, so we're not messing with him. We're messing with the cousin. So you're writing that somewhere. Oh, we got it? We got an answer? Yeah? Does it look like this? J equals, watch this, 5 less in the back. No lie, you guys. It will be wrong if you go 5 minus. It's wrong because we don't subtract in the front, right? And 2C. Are we cool with that? Everyone's good that we're going to do that. Thank you. You're just holding the spot, right? Okay. We're going to do one last one, and then we're going to try some. And the last one is the weirdest one, and I'm not going to lie. It's going to, like, trip you up a little bit. James has 40% more money than Mrs. T. My first name is Dana, so if you want to go J, if you want to go D, there you go. I'm going to let you try this one on your own, and I'm going to kind of tell you there's a good chance that you're going to miss it. No. But you can try it on your own. Right? If you don't know Don't guess, right? Or you can guess if you want, but chances are you're not going to get it right. And that's okay. I'm setting you up to explain why this is weird. Percent is weird. It's weird. And I'm going to tell you why. Because this is what you're tempted to do. You're tempted to say James has 40% more than Dana, right? But here's the problem with that. Percents and decimals make things smaller, right? This is saying I got James and now I have even less money. I don't have all the money in my pocket. I have 40% of it. You took a bunch of the money out of my pocket because percents don't work the same way. So here's what I want you to think about. So James has an amount of money in his pocket, and I have some money in my pocket, and we want to compare them. So I'm going to keep all the money in my pocket. I have one pocket full of money. I get to keep it, and I'm going to add on extra. I get to have extra, so I have the same as James. And you know how much more I get? I get 40% extra. Does that make sense? So when we talk about percents, what we have to do is give you all the percent, 100% plus more. So really what it's going to look like is this. James is me, 100% of me plus more. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? For some of you who are like, but Miss T, couldn't I mess with James? Yes, but you don't mess with him by doing 40% of James. Here's what's crazy. If I am D, and if you don't like it this way, don't sweat it, James will be 0.6. Does that make sense? Because he's got 40 and 60% make 100%. So I think it's easier. Just mess with me. Give me all the money plus more. Is that cool? Everybody else cool on that one? Because it's kind of weird. Okay. Flip over your paper. We're going to try 4 of them. And you're going to be like, okay, I remember this. Look, Kathy, and my girl Kathy, all day I've been saying, Kathy, you're senior class president. Kathy is one of those terrible people who buys exotic animals because it's cruel and you shouldn't do it, right? But she does because she rolls that way. And she's got a little baby sanctuary, and she's got a little, oh, look at, and then like, no, stop it. I follow Fritz on Instagram. That's his mommy. She's pushing him to the surface. He's learning to swim. His name is Fritz. Don't judge Fritz. It's Fiona and Fritz, and that's her pushing him to the surface. Don't judge them. I love them. I follow them on Instagram. I don't know who this is. He doesn't have an Instagram account. Okay, so here we go. This is just like last night's stuff. We have 2 things happening, an E and an H. We're not going to use X's and Y's because why would you? We're going to use E and H. And because we have 2 things, we need 2 equations. Our job is to take these sentences and make 2 very easy baby equations. And then the math is easy. Are you guys ready to rock and roll? Let's do this. So let's start right here. Sweet Kathy buys 3 hippos and 3 elephants, 2 baby hippos, and she spends that much. Can you please write me a very easy equation for that? Because you're going to have 3 E's and 2 H's, and how much does she spend? A very easy equation. Ooh, I don't want that. 3E plus 2 H's. You did do it last year. But you're not this time. You're going to get an A on it. That's one equation, but we need 2. So you know what we're doing? We're going to go back to the problem and see, can we get another equation? And here it is. Hippos cost twice as much as an elephant. That's a very easy baby equation. We just did that a second ago. Be careful you mess with the right guy. Hippos are already expensive. Don't make them double expensive, right? We want to make them equal. So mess with the elephant. Mess with the elephant. H equals 2 E's. So guess what? I'm going to be quiet for a minute because you have all the stuff you need to do this problem. I would do it by substitution. Everywhere I see a H, I'm not going to write H. I'm going to write 2E. Go ahead and go for it. And I'm going to be quiet. If that's humanly possible. When I was a little kid, I talked so much that I got sent into the corner to sit by myself. And the teacher told my mom, it's like, Jane has to sit in the corner because she talks too much. And then my mom came in for another conference, and I was back in general population. I was sitting with everyone else, and she goes, oh, is she doing better? And the teacher said, no, but the hamster was right next to her in the corner, and she talked to the hamster. So, yeah, you know what? I did talk to him. I'll talk to I can talk to myself. Like, I drive to my cabin for 2.5 hours. I don't have to talk to myself. I have full-on fights with people in my head. Okay. Yeah, I still hold that. Now that after the 15. Oh, I'll just here we go. I got 3E plus 2 times 2E or 4E equals 10, 430. That's 7E equals 10, 430. It's divide both sides by 7. And I think I get E equals, is it 1290? 1490. 1490. That's how much a little baby elephant is. That's how much that Kathy's playing in the black market. And if she wants some hippos, they're a little bit more expensive. They're $28.80. Is that right? Or $29.80? $29.80. Yeah, it's wrong, Kathy. Stop doing it. You know, they're cute. Why would you not? Right? Easy, right? Are we good? Okay, we're going to step up our game a little bit. Step up our game. So here we go. That Jackson has decided to buy me a gift from his favorite teacher. So he goes and breaks open his piggy bank. Does he have a lot of money in it? No, he doesn't. He has $8.50. But you know, I'll take it. That's a gift card. So why not? There's 2 ways we talk about money. If you're a little kid, if you've ever been around little kids and you watch them count money, this is how they do it. They go 1 money, 2 monies, 3 monies, and it doesn't matter if it's a quarter or a nickel or a dime. So my oldest son is 9 years older than my youngest son, and this is what he would do. When my little son would get like some money for his birthday, he'd walk in and he'd be like, Thomas, if you give me one of those paper monies, just one of those paper monies, I'll give you all of these monies. And he'd like hand him like 12 pennies, right? And my little son Thomas would be like, okay. And then you're like, look, Michael gave me all these monies. I'm like, you're an idiot. So I didn't really say that to his face. I just thought it. So we count money in 2 ways. We count them as individual coins, and we count them with value. So let's start by counting them as just individual coins. That is just a straightforward, you got some N's, you got some D's, you got 129 of them. Make it an equation, just like that. Just some N's, just some D's, and you got 129 monies, right? No value. I'm not asking about how much they're worth. I'm asking you to literally count them out. 1 money, 2 money, 3 money. And it would look like this. You got some N's, you got some D's, you got 129 of these bad boys. Oh, I added an extra letter. Now, the next way that we count money is the real way. We're going to count its value. How do we know I'm doing that? Because we're actually making it with the dollar sign. That means it's got value. So on this next one, we're going to say $8.20. But if I'm going to give them value, they have different values. How much is a nickel worth? 5 cents. Do I write it like this? No, 0.5. There you go. Because I'm doing it in dollars over here. Now, here's what you can do. If you want to make this 5 cents, that's cool. And that's what I do. Make this 820 cents. Does that make sense? So if you're like me and you think, hey, I don't like those decimals, great. Either everyone has a decimal or no one does. So you can either make this now 0.10 if you're keeping the decimals, or 10 if you're getting rid of the decimals. It's up to you. You do you. But make a choice. Don't make this 5, 10, and 8.2. If you're doing decimals, do it all the way through. Go ahead, do the math there. This one I would not, you can do it by substitution, or you can get them all added and subtracted. If it was me, because I'm lazy, I would times by 10. Because I can make these match, because times by 10 is easy. You can do 5, but who the hell knows what 129 times 5 is? 129 times 10, easy, just add that to it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make the D's match. Give him a negative 10, him a negative 10, him a negative 10. Watch how nice that is. Negative 10n minus 10b. Ooh, so easy. Negative 129. Or 1,290. I put them all as I got rid of all the decimals. So is that what you're asking? No, sorry. I will stop listening to your conversation. How is yours looking? Is yours looking like, oh yeah, I'm talking too fast, sorry. Is it 94? I'm getting like 94. Does that seem about right? That's my nickels. And I know nickels and dimes make 129. So I need like 6 more, like is it 34? Something like that? 35. I knew that. I was testing you. Whew. Yeah. The key is the setup. The math is easy. We got 2 last ones to do. The next one is the exact same problem. One has to do with just seats, 40 seats. We got some grown-ups in the seats, some A's, some adults, and we have some kids in the seats, K for kids. And there's a total of 40 of them. Can you write me the easiest equation in the world where you're just saying some adults and some kids? So the first one, we're not worried about how much the seats cost or how much money. We're just counting. We're just saying, well, he's sitting in the seat, and he's sitting in the seat, and he's sitting in the seat, right? We don't have to do anything. It's so nice and easy. I went A plus K equals 40 people. Now, the next thing I do, I'm going to change it into money. I'm going to give it value. And if I give the value to one thing, I give it to everybody. So I'm going to say, how much are the adult seats worth? They're worth $8. How much are the kids' seats worth? They're worth $5. And how much money did they bring in total? They brought in $272. But guess what? You know, on that last one, when we got rid of the decimals, do that again. If you don't like the decimals, get rid of them from everyone. Boom, he's gone. Boom, he's gone. Boom, he's gone. So that's what I'm hopefully getting you to realize is that if I'm going to do value, everyone's got value. If I'm going to do numbers, everyone's got numbers. I want to roll, so I'm going to stop you on this problem. You don't have to finish this one. You could do it. You guys are smart. You're going to multiply by 5. It's easy. You got this one. But we're going to do this one last one. And it is number 3 for you. So we got Yotam and Yotam has decided he's going to be nice, and we're going to buy pizza for people who come to Star Wars Club today, which is the saddest club ever. But I'm kidding, it's not really. So we're going to pool our money. So here's what. This is a tricky one. So let's start on the very first part. Yotam and I are throwing in money. We've gone to the back of the room. We're both emptying out our pockets, and I got a certain amount of money. I'm Data. And he's got a certain amount of money. So there's D and there's Y. Could you please set me up the first equation? Nice and easy. We're just throwing it out. And we're not valuing it. I don't want to know like how many dollars or how many nickels. I'm just throwing out Yoda's money and throwing out my money. Straightforward, easy baby equation. Yoda and Dana, we add up to 65. Now we're going to go back to the beginning of today because I got that weird percentage thing happening, right? So you got to think to yourself. I got Yoda and Dana. Here we are. One of us has more money and one of us has less. We're going to mess with, we're going to add to, we're going to put stuff on to the person who has less. Right? Remember, I get to keep my whole pocket of money and then some. So can you figure out what goes here? You can do that. Now, if some of you are crazy smarty pantses and would rather put 0.4 for Yodam, you can do that, but I think this makes the most sense to me. Let's do the math on this one. Nice and easy substitution. Everywhere I see a Y, I'm putting this guy in. 1.6D plus, careful here, 1D equals 65. I had so many kids in my other class today just made it 1.6D equals 65. No, 2.6D equals 65. And you're going to roll from there. I think it comes out nicely. Like, I think, what do I got, like 25 bucks? Something like that? Yeah. I think I got like 25 bucks. Hey, me. I don't actually have that much in my wallet right now. But Yodam has, he's got 40 bucks. Is that easy? It's easy. You guys got this. So I'm going to do two things right now. Yes.
What's the 0.4 go?
So either go 1.6D
Oh.
or don't do that. Do 0.4 here. Pick a lane. I think it's easier to go with the 1.6. You know why? Because the 6 is already up there, right? So that's what I would do. But I'm just letting some people know. I had some people in the other class like, can't you do it? And it's like, yes, you smart. Yes, smart. Yes, you can. So the answer's on the back. I'm going to cut off 2 of these. You got time to do at least 3 before you leave. And there's only going to be like 3 that you have to do at home. So here we go. And I'm checking off, I think, a yellow assignment. I think 5 people have